Hi, I'm Bob with Wolfe Ridge. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about firewood conveyors. Behind me we have the Wolfe Ridge FC-24 24-foot firewood conveyor. And I'm going to show you guys how this thing works and how it can improve efficiency in your wood yard. So right now it is in transport position as far as this drawbar is concerned. So you can see that that's sticking out. That has a 2-inch ball coupler on it, and that can slide in and out of the way, which we'll do soon. You'll see why I have that cookie there as well. This has 2 stabilizer jacks on the front end of it. Right now I'm only using the one because I just took it off my truck, and I'm actually going to end up lowering this thing completely to the ground in a minute here. The engine we use on these conveyors is a Honda GX 200 gas engine. You can see the controls are similar to some of our splitters. We've got throttle control here, we've got choke, and we've got fuel shut off. As always, if we're transporting it, we'll have the fuel shut off. I'm going to be using this soon, so I'm going to turn the fuel on. And you can see the hour meter here. 0.1 hours on this, just to test run it in the shop. Here you've got the hydraulic oil tank reservoir with the sight glass for level and temperature. Hydraulic oil filter. Here we have the speed control for the conveyor. You can see there's kind of a thumb screw on here to set the position, and here we can move the position. So once we get it to where we want it, we'll just tighten this up, and now this doesn't move. Over here are the main controls for the conveyor. This left stick would raise and lower the height, and this would be forward and reverse for the chains. It's nice to have the reverse option just in case you do end up with a jam or something like that. You can just back it down, get it figured out, and then put it back into forward. Down at the bottom here you can see grease fittings for the main pivot and grease fittings on the pillow block bearings for the conveyor roller. The frame on this machine is 2 by 3 inch, 1/8 inch thick steel. All of the metal for the trough and everything is 10 and 11 gauge steel. You can see here we've got the big cylinders for raising and lowering. Got the wheels and tires. What's really cool about this is we can remove these bolts, which I'll do a little bit later here, and we can pivot these wheels 90 degrees so we can rotate the conveyor without having to move our whole setup. Up at the top here you can see the grizzly bars and the chip chute. These are fully adjustable, so you can set your angle however you'd like on both the bars and the chip chute. You can see here, you'll just pull the chain out of that slot, move it to the position you want, and drop it back in the slot. It's the same way for that up here on the main part of the grizzly bars. The whole trough on this conveyor is welded reinforced and about 15 inches wide. And the reason it was designed that way is most people are splitting 16-inch wood. As the wood makes its way up the conveyor, it'll straighten itself out before it hits the grizzly bars and goes into either your pile or, in this case, the IBC totes. The hopper end of this is extra wide, and it's designed such that our splitters will fit in this opening, and we can still turn the conveyor about 30 degrees while still having the splitter sitting in that opening. So you don't have anything going on the ground between the splitter and the conveyor then. And here we've got kind of a cool piece. This goes on the hitch coupler in order for us to easily swivel it, or you can put that thing on your skid steer or tractor bucket or something like that if you want to be able to move this around easier that way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push that drawbar in, and then we're going to lower it down onto there. So what I'm going to do here is pull this pin, and then slide this in, put the pin back, put this back in. Then I'm going to slide this cookie under here, and I may need to raise this up a little bit, maybe not. Nope. All right. Now I'm going to lower the jack right onto that. So now we've got the weight of the conveyor on this cookie on that plate, and I will pull this pin for the jack and rotate the jack into the transport position. Now I'm going to rotate these wheels. I have my 1/2 inch impact with an 1 1/8 socket on it, and I have a crescent wrench. So I'm going to put the crescent wrench down on the bottom here. Just going to set that down. Now that we have those out, I'm going to try to slew the wheels here. Put the bolt back in. This is honestly not that hard to do. It's kind of surprising. But really. All right. Oops. Now that I got those changed, I'm going to tighten these up. So check that out. We got the hitch coupler sitting on that ball plate, and we got these wheels turned 90 degrees. So, and actually they're not quite 90 degrees. You can see they got just a little bit of an arch to them, so it should make it easy to slew this left and right, or pivot it. So my goal was to set, I got 5 IBC totes here, and my goal and my hope was that I would be able to push this conveyor so that we could fill all 5 of these. And I'm going to give it a shot here. You can see there's mud and snow and stuff on the ground here. So right now I'm aimed at the center IBC tote, and I'm going to try and roll this. And now I'm at the second one. Now I'm at the first one. That's really easy, actually. So I'll try bringing it back now. We'll go back from, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the first one. And we'll go here. Second one. Okay, it wants to roll back a little bit, so you might need to use a piece of firewood for a chock. We'll go back here to the center. Then I'll go back here to the fourth one. And I'll go back here to the fifth one. So I think I could fill all 5 of these without having to move the log splitter from its initial position, which would be really nice. Give you a look at the height in comparison with these IBC totes. Right now the conveyor is as low as it goes, and I think that's honestly a good height for it at the top of these IBC totes. And these are the 330 gallon ones. All right, now we're going to come over and start the engine. So we've got the ignition switch, we've got throttle. I would go just a touch below halfway maybe. Choke. Make sure our valves are off. They are. Pull it through. Turn the choke off. Well, I found a splitter. This is a 35C compact commercial, and this one actually has 30-inch stroke, which I don't need because I'm doing stuff at about 16 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this thing up, run the ram out a bit, and then I'm going to put in the stroke limiters so that I can get a faster cycle time. All right, here's the first half of the stroke limiter. So I'm going to put this in. Here's the other half. Now you can see that I just changed where the home position is going to be for the pusher. So the pusher, instead of having to go all the way back to here, is just going to go back to here. When it hits here, then it'll kick out that auto return. So I got my log lift loaded up. Look at that. I got 1 round on the top already and 8 on the lifter ready to go. Acts as a great staging table too, and the machine is still very stable. So I'm going to walk over now and I'm going to start up the firewood conveyor, and I'm going to start up the splitter, and I'm going to make some firewood. Here's something kind of cool that I wanted to point out. You can see how right now I've got the conveyor slewed over to my 5th IBC tote, and I'm still making a good connection here, if you will, when I split into here. Theoretically, this splitter could be pushed in there a little bit further so I wouldn't have this gap here, but I didn't. I just had a couple pieces of bark fall out of there, so that wasn't a big deal. And if that's the case, then I probably could have, like, you know, another 2 of those IBC totes, one over there and one here, and still be able to fill those. Now, I didn't change the conveyor speed when I went from this center IBC tote to that far one, and it worked pretty well. Here you can see the grizzly bars, the job that they did. Now, I could have lowered this chute a little bit more too. There's a little bit more angle we can put on there. But if this thing's way up in the air, you're gonna deflect and direct all of this junk away from your done firewood, which is really nice. You could put a separate IBC tote here, honestly, with just collecting that chaff and debris. So you can see what went into the IBC totes here. Doesn't look too bad. A couple pieces of kindling in there. When it comes to woodyard efficiency, I think adding a firewood conveyor to your operation is really one of the biggest things you can do after you have a high-powered splitter. Even if you don't have a high-powered splitter and you need to get the logs away from your work area, this is an awesome way to do it. Whether you're going to build up a huge pile or you're going to do an operation like I did back here with these 5 IBC totes, this is really cool, because if I had another person here, we could fill these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as we go, I move the conveyor and somebody else could come in with the skid loader, take the full one, drop another one, and then there's no downtime. Current options for the firewood conveyors from Wolfe Ridge are 16 foot, 24 foot like you see right here, a 32 foot, or a 40 foot. Now, I would say that this 24 foot you saw in the beginning of the video, how high it went, you could build a pretty big pile with it. But I do know of a few people that have the 32 foots and you run out of space. When you're running high-powered firewood equipment, you need a place to put that split firewood, and a conveyor is a great way to do it. If you're looking for pricing, availability, lead times, options, any of that stuff, please check out our website, www.wolferidgemfg.com, or you can give us a call or an email. I'll put those links in the description. Thank you for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next product video.